when I was watching Hook, I was just blown away by, especially among many other things, the production design, like the amount of work that went into the sets and the costume and the detail. I mean, I have never seen anything like that before. Even films like Pirates of the Caribbean, like, it's just not there in any other film.
Well, you can
Um,
see it. You can see it again in Wicked.
I
Uh,
haven't seen The Wicked yet. I haven't
yeah,
seen that yet.
John Chu was a kid when he saw Hook, and he's the director of Wicked, and it's among other films. And he's Filipino,
Hmm.
and Dante's role in that film inspired a ton of Asian young people that had never seen a young Filipino or young Asian actor in a big Hollywood movie. And he was so blown away by Hook. So, and Mark Platt, who produced Wicked, was at TriStar in those days. And if you see Wicked, he built everything. I mean, they built everything. Not a lot of CG. They built it, and it was, and the production design was the on Hook was the brainchild of John Napier. Norman Garwood gets credit for being production design, but Steven brought Napier in to be and gave him visual consultant. It was the only film John Napier has ever designed. He's known for Cats, Les Mis,
Hmm.
Sunset Boulevard, Starlight Express. I mean, he reinvented the Broadway sets as well. So when he came on the film, my wife and I were ecstatic. So were the kids because we had seen all of those shows
Yeah.
and just absolutely loved Napier's work. So, and I couldn't wait to meet him. So when I finally got to L.A., when Steven said, "Come on out," they were already in full blown pre-production, you know, and I got to meet Napier. We became great friends, and he said, "Come here." They had a workshop, and people were drawing and designing and sketching and what have you, and building models. And he took me over in the corner and said, I want to tell you why I'm doing this movie." He said, "Stevens asked me to do films over the years, and I kept turning him down." He said, "Then I read your script, this
Mm.
one. Then I read your script, and I started drawing in the margins designs, because the world you were describing I had not seen, but it made so much sense. So I'm here because of your script, not because of Steven Spielberg." And that stayed with me throughout the entire production. And the sets were staggering. Our kids spent the summer on those sets. It became a big deal in the business to get to go tour the Hook set. You'd get a special pass, and they'd ask certain people in the cast or the crew to give the tours. We had everybody from Prince to Bruce Willis to Kathy Rigby, who played Peter Pan, and I mean, every major movie star wanted to come to the set. Ricky Dreyfuss um, was there the day I was there, and uh, it, they were mind blowing to go to and spend time in. There was such a detail and all kinds of places you could hang out and not be seen. The pirate town was staggering. Um, and I think Stephen that gave it that stagey musical kind of feeling, you know. And I think that's what he was missing for himself was it should have been a musical. Um, to be quite honest with you, when my family first saw the film, they wouldn't speak to me for 2 days.
Really?
Uh, they knew what was missing in the script. They knew what had they knew this script, and they knew what was missing. Now the audience never knew what was missing, and it was a big lesson for me to the audience decides if we're a success or not the filmmaker, not the writer, not the actors, not the production design. The audience is who determines whether or not we're a success. And so when we finally, the family, we started going to the film playing here in New York in theaters and just go buy tickets and sit and be part of the audience. And the audience reaction was staggering. I mean, there were cheers and laughing and tears and applause at the end. Um, so my kids learned, as did my wife, Judy, that it's the audience. And Stephen made a great audience film. You know, thank God for Michael Kahn, his editor. You know, who would keep me abreast on how he was doing with the structure and what have you. The audience made that film a success. It's still, the audience made it a success today. It's 35 years old and it's still growing in terms of its audience. It's not gotten smaller, it's gotten bigger. And I think we're now in our third generation.
Mm.
I've got people that I've got people that grew up with my kids that are now married and have kids. So there's grandchildren that are seeing the film because their parents saw the film. And my daughter Julia, who's a director and writer in her own right, she's done 5, 6 films in the last 7, 8 years. Um, she and her husband, they have our 2 grandsons. She and her husband called us late one night here in New York, and they're in LA. And she was a mess. And she said, Dad, I haven't seen this film in years. It's so different when you're a parent, you have kids. It's a completely different experience. So Stephen created something that is universal, that is everlasting, that's forever young, and preserves the great Robin Williams performance, who's incredible in the film. Bob Hoskins, who became a great friend, they both did. Even my buddy David Crosby, the performances in that Robin gives, and Bob is sort of the glue. It's astounding. There was only one person who could play that part, and that was Robin. It's the only time I ever wrote a script with an actor in mind. If you couldn't get Robin, don't make the film. But the audience has continued. It blows me away. You saw it last night, and we're actually doing it. Jake and I, my son, actually, who had the idea for it, actually have a new Neverlands project that we're working on that we hope the BBC is going to let us do. I'm going to shut up. You push my button, so.